As a precautionary measure to reduce the spread of the coronavirus, this meeting will be held by remote participation. My name is Grace Rogers, and I am the moderator for this meeting in the Office Administrator. I will now turn it over to the committee chair.
Good evening. My name is Richard Gegenwath, and I'm the chairman of the Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee for the town of Yarmouth. I will begin by taking a roll call to see if we have a quorum. Bob Wilkins.
I am here.
Rosemary Nichols.
Here.
Paula Morrison.
Here.
And myself, Richard Gegenwath. So we have 4, and that will enable us to run our meeting. We have a quorum. So before we go into more details of the meeting, we'll be having 8 items on the agenda tonight. So our moderator will explain the details of running such a meeting in this COVID-19 timeframe.
Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, this meeting of the Yarmouth Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access and participate in the proceedings as provided in the order. Persons who would like to view this meeting will do so in progress by joining this virtual meeting as an attendee. You may also listen to the meeting by dialing into the number provided on the notice of meeting. The meeting will also be posted on the Town of Yarmouth YouTube channel for future viewing. Please be patient as we work to overcome any and all technological challenges within the virtual meeting. For all meetings, all audience participants enter the virtual meeting muted. Participants will be unmuted when called upon to speak by the chair or moderator. If you are not speaking, please mute yourself to avoid unnecessary background noise. Clearly state your name each and every time prior to speaking. Do not use speakerphone or Bluetooth devices when speaking. All votes must be roll call votes. After a motion is made and seconded, the chair will ask for a roll call vote. For presenters, applicants can use the raise hand button or press *9 on their phone to identify themselves to the chair. The moderator will unmute applicants when they are called upon to speak during their portion of the agenda. Applicants shall identify themselves by first and last name and affiliation. Applications or presentations provided by the applicant will be displayed by the moderator only if asked to do so. If it appears the meeting cannot or should not proceed, then the moderator will recommend that the chair request to continue the hearing to a later date and time. Public comment. During the portions of the hearing designated for public comment, the chair will ask if anyone in the audience has any questions or comments relating to the item being heard. Members of the public may request to speak by selecting the raise hand button or *9 on their phone and waiting for the chair to call upon them to speak. Members of the public recognized by the chair are asked to identify themselves by first and last name and affiliation for the public record, and then provide their comment. I'm now handing the meeting back to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. There are 8 new applications for certificate of appropriateness this evening, and they'll be handled in the order that was listed on the agenda. Please be reminded that our committee's main purpose is to review items for appropriateness and setting, and it's the responsibility of the applicant to comply with the regulations of other town boards and departments, including the building department, conservation, engineering, health, zoning, and the sign inspector. You should know that there is a 10 calendar day appeal period starting once a decision is filed with the town clerk. Any person aggrieved by our decision tonight can appeal to the Regional Commission of the Old Kings Highway. Our office administrator will be happy to answer any questions you might have with respect to that process. So we'll begin this evening now. The first item on the agenda is construction of a new single-family home at 78 Old Hyannis Road. The homeowner is Pompush USA Incorporated, and the agents are SANDEEP, SADHU, and Paul Apkarian. Do we have Paul or SANDEEP here tonight? Paul,
They both are.
Yes, we are here, both of us.
good, okay.
Yes.
So this, we can begin with, this is the application that came to us for a new home. And the next point of interest is the general specifications. There's no chimney on this house. It's hardy plank shakes, hardy shakes they call them. Color Monterey taupe, and it's on the front and also on the sides and the rear of the house. Exact trim is being used. It will be white, and the front door will be mahogany. Garage doors, there are 3 garage doors, and they're fiberglass, white color. Windows are white. They're Pella windows, Proline, and they will have divided light between the glass pattern. This is the general floor plan. Second floor, first floor, garage doors are on the side, and this is the plot plan. So Old Hyannis Road is on our left, so it's a D plot. 0.99 acres. The trees are already growing, as you can see. Only kidding. Artist rendition shows the shrubbery around the base of the house. And the windows typically are 6/1 with variations depending on the type of window. Some of them I think are errors on this. On the second floor, some are showing 3/1, and they're probably 6/1, matching the ones on the first floor. And likewise, the window on the left is 4/1, and the middle one is probably 6/1. So we have a rear view. That's the side view, left side on the bottom. And this is the rear view, front view and rear view. See mostly 6/1 windows. And we could take a look at the side view now. So the 3 doors, the doors have lights built into the door on the top panel. So 4 pieces the door is made up of, so it rolls into the roof. Generally nice design. I think it's appropriate. Has a little pizzazz with a elliptical window in the front. Any questions from the Other members?
Are there any abutters present?
Let me check. If anybody would like to speak, please raise your hand. Doesn't look like it.
Interesting, the mansard effect on the
Mm-hmm.
upper story.
Yeah, that'll be a little different in this
Mhm.
area, on Old
Yeah, that's
Hyannis Road.
Pretty wide variety of interesting and innovative, in some cases, designs on that street. It's quite an
Yes.
interesting road, evolving into an interesting road.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'll move to approve the application.
I'll second.
Okay, so all those in favor, Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
Paula Morrison,
Aye.
and myself, Richard Gagenwarth, aye. So, Paul, as you go along, if you plan to make any changes, let us know in advance. We don't want to go out to do an inspection and find all kinds of variations to the theme. So appreciate that. Any other questions, comments? So I wish you good luck with this and good weather coming up for you.
To this, thank you. We don't expect any changes to the plans. We designed it and did the construction drawings based on that. So hopefully it ends up being just as it was presented.
Great, good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it looks well thought out. Good. We'll move on to the next item, which is concerned with tree removal at 277 Route 6A. Phil Baxter is the owner of Baxter Hospitality, and Jason Kreutz of the Conservation Service Group is the agent. So is Phil and Jason are both here. Good. So a couple of us, Bob and myself, were at 277 Route 6A about 4 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago now, and saw the tree in question. Which, as you can see, has some loose parts that can come down anytime, and also some limbs that are really going to come down with a crash, big limbs. And so there's a letter, I think, item 9, and this is from a professional arborist who inspected the tree. It's a large silver maple. And when I was out there, Phil was mentioning that I think there were 3 of them in a row at one time, maybe 100 years ago. And a couple of them were taken down in subsequent years, but 2 replacements were put in there. And so when this comes down, there'll be room for another one. So as you can see on the write-up, there's a lot of evidence of internal decay and a lot of open decay areas, bark cankers, etc. So it seems no doubt that this is probably a good thing to take down. Any questions or comments from the committee members? Bob, I'm sure you remember.
I don't see any problem removing the tree.
No, I think it's quite a reasonable request.
Yeah, there's a lot of work going on there on site, right in the vicinity of the tree now. There's been a lot of work. I think maybe if Phil is tuned in, if he would speak on this. Just a general interest, what's going on in both sides of the house, the east side and the west side. There's a lot of construction.
Yeah, this is Phil. So I was kind of waiting for my picture to come up, but so the west side is are the pumping stations, so the tanks for the septic. So everything is in. We're waiting for the electrician to hook up the pumps, and once the pumps are hooked up, then the system will be tested. And once the system is tested, then we'll be able to bury them finally, the tanks.
Yeah.
And they pump around over to the east side parking lot, which is the leaching field. So BSC was the engineer that designed the septic system, and PKH or PH, whatever, is the company that is doing the installation.
Good. We had calls from the neighbor on the east side concerning the barn that is very close to the property line, and they were afraid that it's liable to end up in the septic system.
Yeah.
You have big boulders there trying to keep the ground in place, and I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yeah, Ralph and I are becoming good friends. We've put rocks against the embankment, but we're still, 10 or 15 feet from the property line at least.
Yeah.
Over there. So we've put a set of rocks from the site that we have, and then we'll put a fabric
Right.
behind the rocks, and then we'll put additional rocks and fill it in. We're just waiting for the leaching field to be completed.
Yeah.
As
I say, his barn is probably close to the line.
Yeah. His barn is probably a couple inches from the property line.
That's the way it was in the old days. They didn't pay much attention to the lines. There's situations like that all up and down 6A.
Phil, if you had
we're being very careful. I think that he'll be fine. I know that he'll be fine with
you had an engineer assess the topography there to allay Ralph's fears?
It's a good idea. I've reached out to BSC, who is the engineers on the septic, and I'm just waiting to hear back from them on whether they'll just take a look at the, like you said, the topography of his little hillside.
He does have some basis for worry with the barn being so close and also higher, and because of the leaching fields, we dug away considerably at the earth in that location. So it would be, I think, a nice gesture to have a competent engineer assessment, and maybe you can communicate that to Mr. Menconi so that he needn't worry.
The other thing, of course, would be that down the road, if his bond subsides, you'll have a lawsuit on your hands. So you might as well fix it now to avoid any subsidence, like put rebar in or whatever they put in to keep the earth from moving. It'd be better to do it now while you've got everything there.
Yeah, it sounds like Phil's on top of it.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. But yeah, we've been communicating, and I'll get the engineer assessment. That's a good idea. I'd already started working on that.
Great, thank you.
So we have a second on this.
I'll second.
That was Bob that made the motion. All those in favor of approving this request for the tree removal? Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
Paula Morrison,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
And myself, Richard Gagenworth, aye. So good luck with it all, Phil.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Richard,
Yes.
Ralph would like to speak. He is present.
Oh, okay.
I've promoted him. It'll take a minute for him to rejoin.
He's muted.
All right, is that all right?
You're
Yeah.
good.
Hearing me now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Phil and I have been in touch a lot, and also with his, I guess, landscaper. I wasn't sure what Jeff's role was. I think Phil told me he was a landscaper. I thought there was more to it than that, but the communication hasn't been good on this to me as a concerned abutter. I'm really the only abutter that is affected much by this project. The Gorey House is on one side, that's owned by a foundation in Boston, but I'm directly affected, and I have been agitated as this project is unwound, and the rocks are not in many cases in touch with the bank. They're a foot or more away. Not all of them, some of them are, but the ones near the barn are really not effective at all at this point. And that's the part, of course, I'm most concerned with. So what I've urged Phil to do, and I haven't had a great deal of success in this, is better communication with me as the squeaky wheel who lives next door. As this project evolves, I learned most of it from looking over from the house, and sometimes, getting Jeff over, but we don't have the best communication, frankly. So, there's a lot of anxiety here. I'm 72 years old, retired to the Cape, and it has not been a peaceful couple month or so. This all started the day I was on my way for a COVID shot, and I learned on the fly that a lot of trees are going to be torn down that were supporting the bank. When I got back, I thought we were going to discuss it, but when I got back 2 hours from the college where I got my COVID shot, the trees were gone. So that I was very upset by that, because I would have liked to discuss that tree removal. Yes, they were on Phil's property, and I don't contest that at all, but they did serve as supports for this bank in question. Now they're gone, and we have open soil there in a lot of ways, with some big rocks that are not in contact in many cases with the bank. So that's why I'm agitated, and I need to be reassured this is a barn that goes back nearly 200 years, along with a house, which is also very old. I inherited it from my parents. Now I'm here, and I'm glad they're not here to witness all this.
Well, Phil, this is a work in progress, right? We're just
Absolutely.
beginning. Okay. Yeah. So I think you're hearing Ralph, and I think you're hearing us, and we're going to get that bank stabilized so that barn will be here and not moving for another 100 years, at least.
Good. Okay.
Absolutely, confirmed.
Good.
Great.
Thank you very much, Phil.
Thank you.
Ralph, thanks for tuning in here.
Thank
tonight.
you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it. You're welcome. Good. We'll move on to the next item, which has concern with putting in 35 rooftop solar panels at 31 Hawks Wing Road. The homeowner is, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. So when he starts speaking, Mr. Histov is the owner, and Raphael Kobit of Solar Energy Group is the agent.
sure if any representation is here. Oh, there's a raised hand.
Justin Krug. He must be from a solar panel company.
Hello,
Yes, we can hear you.
how are you this evening?
Hi, Justin. Good.
Rafaela is in class this evening, so I am the representation. How are you?
Okay, good, good. So, yeah, when I first got this project, I was concerned because it didn't look like there was that much roof that was pointing south. And it turns out it's mostly pointing west,
Yes,
but there's enough clear area in terms of trees not being around that you still get pretty good sunlight there.
correct. The ideal situation would be to put them on east and west, but understanding the difficulties of putting solar on the front of the home and being seen from the road,
Right,
we will just use the rear facing part of the home and keep the panels below the ridge, the peak, so they would not be seen coming down the road.
yeah,
Then they do lay flat against the roof. So we keep about 4 to 5 inches above the roof surface, and they will stay flat. There'll be a black on black panel and all black mounting hardware. So it should match or stay pretty close to, nothing that's going to glint or shine too much. I'm seeing it from the southeast there.
good, good.
So I have a question regarding the visibility from Joel Road, I believe it's called, which is the road behind. There's a steep embankment behind the house. And there appears to be 1 or 2 houses. It's a little hard to tell from driving around. I tried to make the determination, but
It's
not
two.
easy.
It's two, Bob.
Yeah, and they're on Joel Road, aren't they? Joel Road or Joel?
They are, and
Yeah.
they I don't know what these trees are. I don't know if they're planned or what, but currently both those houses have a full view of that porch.
They'd be looking right down at it.
That's right.
I don't know if either of those homeowners is present to voice an opinion about that,
Would
but
those homeowners have been notified, Grace?
Yes, they are. They're always notified.
Even though they're not
The property,
on.
but there are butters.
Mhm.
They may
Those-
not-
are either of them present tonight? Can you tell?
If any of the direct abutters are present, you could raise your hand or press *9 if you're dialed in.
While they're joining, Bob, to answer your question, on page 8, those green trees that you're seeing are a LiDAR depiction of what the most recent LiDAR imagery would be for the rear of that home. So we're accounting for what LiDAR would show, based on that picture, what those trees would be. We're accounting for the shade that would be cast at any time of the year based on those trees. So on the LiDAR image, we would model the trees' height and diameter, and then account for the shading that would take place on those panels throughout the solar cycle each day. So those would not be trees that would be planted or, put there. That would be based on what the LiDAR image shows us of trees currently present.
Those are deciduous trees, are they not?
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
So during the winter, you would, yes,
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, I have a picture of the front of the house, which, like here, it shows too. On my picture, it's a little darker, but I'm not sure what color the roof shingles are. yeah, see this picture, the house on the right is shown there. The looks like a dark gray. So if the panels are mounted on a dark gray roof, they won't be that noticeable anyway. So,
And right there underneath the system information, it does show the model, the REC Twin Peak Black Series. So
Yeah.
that would be a black panel with black framing and a black backing as well.
yeah,
Well, one never knows how abutters feel when abutters don't express their feelings. So,
I think if they've been notified and they didn't come, they've had their chance, and they certainly can't be seen from the street.
no,
Half of them will be flat on that lower roof. And then the part that angles up will be seen. It looks like they're on both roofs, but I'm inclined to okay it.
good. So is that a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Bob Wilkins,
aye.
Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
Paula Morrison,
Aye.
and myself, Richard Gegenwarth, aye. So Justin, do you have any time schedule that you're working to on this?
As soon as the permits and interconnection paperwork are approved, we're about 2 weeks out for an installation, and it should take about 1 to 2 days. We'll clean everything up and be out of everyone's hair, so it should take place in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Good. Yeah, just as I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, there's a 10-day appeal period. So if the neighbor in the back has any complaints, they could appeal it if they wanted to. So typically it's best not to start working installation until the appeal period is passed.
We'll make a note of the 22nd and reach back out to confirm we can move forward, and we'll go from there.
Good, good, safe move.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Good luck with it.
Have a good evening.
Good night.
Thank you.
So next one is changing colors on a house. 964 Route 6A. John Nash is a trustee, and Realty Trust is the owner. So he's a trustee of that Realty Trust. The idea is to remove a portion of the existing deck. The deck is in two levels. They're not too much different, but the first and second level. So you want to remove one level and change the color of the doors, shutters, siding, trim, the garage door. And he's using historic colors pretty much. So is John Nash here?
I believe I've promoted him to panelist.
The JN. So he can, okay, sounds like he should be able to talk now, right?
I would have put on my computer, but I always get feedback on conference calls, so I didn't want to
Okay.
punish anybody.
Good, it's all fine.
So I originally submitted, I wanted to change the windows, the doors, the roof color, and it got compressed into one package. So right now the house is a gray on the shingles. The clapboards in the front are light blue, and the theme is to change the clapboards and the shingles to a white stain. The front door I'd like to replace with fiberglass Therma-Tru door, and the back door and change those colors from the blue to a heritage red. The garage door stays and the color stays the same as white. And the roof, I'd like to change to a pewter wood.
Good. The
And the windows, they're typical builder windows that were put in this house when it was built about 26 years ago. And as we all know, those wood windows rot out pretty quick. So I'm proposing to replace all the windows with a Hobby Tribute vinyl with black sashes, and then the trim would be a white ASIC.
it's okay. And the grid patterns would be the same as they are now, I take it.
6/6, correct.
Good, okay. The, we pull this color squash up again there, swash. There we go. The HC 181 is the center color. There's 3 reds here. And well, the top 2 are pretty identical. And that's when if you look up on the color charts, that's it. The light one on the bottom is not the one you're using now. Is that right, John?
Yes, correct.
Good, okay. So that's nice. And the black is what the shutters will be.
The shutters and the window sashes as well.
Everything else is white. Good.
Yep. It's become more of a traditional color along 6A, I think.
Right.
The scheme. And
Definitely. So, any questions, further questions from the committee members?
Are there any abutters present?
Let me check. If you'd like to speak, press *9 if you're on a phone, or raise your hand if you're on your computer. I don't see anyone currently looking to speak.
I move to approve as submitted.
Just before that, Rosemary, I just wondered if there was a picture of the back deck, because you want to remove that as well.
Oh, yeah, there was.
And it can be seen, so you want to leave the part with the door and take the the slider?
The slider will stay, the lower portion comes out, it's all rotted, and I'm going to replace that with a patio.
I see. And so you leave the top part of the deck.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
correct.
All right. Okay. Go ahead, Rosemary.
So you just have to put a step over by this single door.
Yeah, I'll put a stone step landing.
Down to the patio. Good.
Yep.
Okay. So we had, who made a motion?
Rosemary, I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor of approving this request? Paula Morrison,
Aye.
Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
myself, Richard Gagan-Wath, aye. So good luck with the project.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay. Next item, number 5. Homeowners Marcus and Susan Buckley and Chris to Bettencourt of Acura Fence is the agent. It's concerned with installation of a wooden fence plus a chain link fence at number 2 Firestone Drive. So Marcus is here. Good. So you can explain a little bit about this.
Sure, happy to. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Good evening. Thank you for considering this. We recently acquired, excuse me, an 8-year-old Cairn Terrier, and he is a rehomed dog. He was raised and bred and raised by a kennel in Wisconsin. The owner of the kennel is reducing her activity. Like so many of us, she's getting ready to retire. I have done that. And we lost our dog our last dog over a year ago, just at the beginning of the COVID crisis, and spent a lot of time deciding whether or not we're going to get another dog. This dog had the run of 11 acres up in upstate Wisconsin. He'll have to make do with about 30,000 square feet here. 3 sides of the yard are already fenced in, and this will just continue to contain and enclose the whole yard. On one side of me is the Mass Coastal Railway, and that's the area where the chain link fence will go. It's not visible from the street, nor would it be visible from my 2 abutters to the rear of me. I've spoken with all of them, and no one seems to have any issues or problems with it. The fence, the wooden fence that we would put in is a spaced picket. Smooth side would be out facing to the street and be left natural in accordance with some of the other fencing that we have in the house, around the house. Our plan is to hopefully secure approval here. We understand that there's a 10-day waiting period for anybody who might protest this. But then the intent would be to get the fence installed sometime in late April and early May, so that Malachi can go outside and have the run of the yard.
Good. Do we have a plot plan, Grace? So good. So the picket fence will be coming from the house to the sides. Yeah.
Yes.
It shows up on
That's right.
both sides.
Mhm.
And there'll be a gate someplace there, I guess.
There will be 2 gates, 4-foot gate so that we can get a riding mower through, and a standard 36-inch gate on the other side for convenience.
Good.
Yeah, and you're at the end of a very short cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the only buildable lot on the street. To the left of my driveway is an area that I've been told is part of the ancient way, which I gather is kind of a no man's or no person's land, and that abuts the Mid-Cape Nursery. So on that side of the property, I've got Mid-Cape Nurseries and the railroad.
Yeah.
But you see, the lot is well wooded. The chain link fence will go within that wooded area. We're actually going to probably plant some ivy or something to create an even better green screen. So that's it. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Yeah,
Is there anyone present who would like to speak to this application? Grace, is there anyone?
No one's raising their hand.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
Paul Morrison,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
and myself, Richard Gegenwarth, aye. So good luck with it all, and good luck with your new dog. They're very
Thank you.
nice.
If you're familiar with the Wizard of Oz, it's a can terrier, just like Toto.
Yep.
Malachi.
I laughed earlier. I had to consign him back to the other room. So, but thank you very much, and Grace, thank you for all your help.
I hope Malachi will
Marcus,
be happy.
Marcus, just for the record, Kansas has no memorial to the Wizard of Oz.
I know, isn't that a shame?
St. Louis decided to have something. Just for the record.
What a shame. Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Good night.
So let's see. Next one is concerned with more painting at 26 Homer's Dock Road. Bob, Robert, and Mary Gibbons are the homeowners. Empire Painting is the agent. So I'm not sure he'll be here tonight. Do we have any hands going up? Mary is here. Good. Well, you have to unmute mute you, Mary. Can't hear you yet. Hold on.
I am unmuted now.
Great.
Good.
Mhm.
Okay. So Mary, it's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You know why?
I do. I think you've got a little history with the house.
That's right.
It's been a few years.
Yeah. I did some design work in building. And before we do this, let me just tell you something. If Marilyn and I had kept the house, we would have done something to it. And you might think about doing it yourself.
Okay.
When I would visit her, we get married after she sold the house. I sold my house and she sold hers, and we built the one we're in now. And so if we had kept the house, we would have covered the door that everybody enters the house from the parking area next to the garage. Everyone goes in there, and the way the roofs are, you get drenched if you're standing in there waiting for somebody to open the door. So I designed a little roof to come out, and with one post, it would all take and get rid of that problem.
Okay.
So it's food for thought.
Oh boy, I'll only keep the people I don't like waiting outside. So everybody else come in. But thank you for the suggestion.
So we have some nice colors here.
Thank you.
You'll have to read off which is which here now.
Yeah, okay. So if you want, yeah, so it's Balboa Mist is going to be the front clapboards is what we're looking to do.
Yep.
And we're just going to keep the trim. It's still going to be a white, just white dove, Benjamin Moore. So not really any changes on the trim. And the shutters will be a little different because right now they're white, but they're just going to be slightly darker than the Balboa Mist, just to add a little contrast. And then we will be doing the Whipple Blue for the doors.
Oh,
So
okay.
the two doors out front, and or one in the front, one on the side, and then there's two out back in the patio area that we're planning to paint. And we will be putting a new front door as well. We actually included a picture of that as well, to replace kind of the outside door that exists today.
Uh-huh. Good. So, yeah, the colors as they show up on my screen here are not as good compared to if you go to the Benjamin Moore website.
Right.
And look up these colors. They're very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, the photocopy looks a little different, but I think my husband had enclosed, yeah, the actual paint chip. So they do look a little different.
Right. Yeah, so they will be nice.
Thank
Good.
you.
So any other comments from the members?
Looks good to me. I move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor? Paula Morrison,
Aye.
Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
myself, Richard Gegenwath, aye. So good luck with it.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time and consideration.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Bye-bye now.
Good night. Okay. The next item is putting up a building. It's a proposed addition. You know, the write-up doesn't sound like what it really is. It says a proposed addition of a sunroom and garage at 186 Cranberry Lane. And the homeowner is Manchester Realty, Mick Realty Properties, LLC. And Peter Eastman is the agent. I don't know if Peter is here tonight. We have Cynthia, his wife, but she's muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, it's Pete.
You don't sound like Cynthia.
Doesn't sound like Cynthia.
No, she's got a
Sound like
cold.
Peter.
Yes. I'm on her computer.
So,
Hello, everybody.
well, we can show the plot plan on this.
Okay.
She'll get it. Grace will bring it up in a second. Good. Okay. So at the end of Cranberry Lane on the left there, you come into a driveway. The house shows up very faintly in the center. The garage is on the left side. It's a two-car garage. And then the front door is about halfway down. And off to the right is a small house, which has been there for many years and got upgraded a couple of years ago, new windows and so on. And that is a pool house because there's a small pool adjacent to that. And the big dark gray patch is a three-car garage. And whereas the present driveway comes across the middle, it's a dotted line, and it kind of ends up by the garage, obviously. And it has a bit of a loop in it. But now there's a much larger driveway. It's 2 cars wide, so you can actually drive in and out of it. It's about, Peter, you have to help me on it. It's about 14 feet or 18 feet wide.
Yeah, I'm zooming in now to see. Yeah, I think that's a 16. It's hard to tell, but.
I read it this afternoon. I zoomed it.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's about 16 or 18.
I actually don't have that plan. I've got the building plans, but not that one. John Alberico does have it, and he could step in if he was listening. I think he's listening.
Yeah. Okay, so it's wide there, and then of course it's very wide in front of the 3 garage doors.
Correct.
And then it goes into a small, about 12 feet, I believe, wide, the rest of the way there.
Right.
A big loop, so it's nice. And then this structure is about over 2,000 square feet.
Right.
So it's considerable. It's almost as big as the footprint of the house.
Well, some of it's a little deceiving because the sunroom has got a covered porch that goes into the garage, the 3-car garage.
Uh-huh.
The house is pretty substantial size house, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah,
And
that's a story with, gables on the front and dormers.
Right.
Now, what are the elevations looking like? Number 7?
We're going to match all the existing trim on the existing house. Yeah, you can see it now how it's all been done up to match existing windows, and the siding's going to remain the same. All the trim detail is going to be the same. And the siding, colors, everything is going to be all complying to the existing house.
Okay, now the top one, the left side elevation, whoops, you went to the right. If you can stay with this a minute. This is the front door on the house itself. I take it,
Right.
on the left.
Yes. Yes.
And so it connects, the two connect, do they, or they stand alone?
No, they do connect. The sunroom goes in and attaches to the existing, what's now a kitchen dining room area.
Okay,
And that'll be the passageway into, see the dotted line of the roof
Yeah.
line?
right,
Okay, so that's how it marries into the new sunroom.
okay. Yep. And then this is sort of a passageway through. between-
Correct. That's a breezeway I was talking about that goes into the garage.
Okay. Yep. And then in the front elevation shows the front of the house and the three doors, etc.
Correct.
On the
Yeah.
top. Good. Now let's go to the next picture. Okay, the right side elevation.
Yeah.
And there's a deck there.
Right.
And that sort of overlooks the pool area, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah, the pool house you mentioned earlier is right kind of in front of that. And then the pool is a little to the left if you're standing in the house looking out.
Yeah.
And then the stairway will be how you'd get down to the pool house and the pool itself.
Good.
Yeah.
How much space will be between this addition and the pool?
Oh, it shows it on the first plot plan. It should have a dimension there somewhere. Like I said, I don't have that plot plan.
Should really blow it up.
Probably, my estimation is maybe 50 to
There you go.
60 feet or so. Maybe 50, I guess, if I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it says pool up here in the right corner.
Right. That's Jack Alberico. He's the owner of the home that I'm working with.
Good, Jack.
So, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty substantial distance from the pool to the house, the corner house, and that's all existing now. Anyway, so from the new addition, it's even further away.
Right. Good. Okay.
Are there any abutters present? It's really pretty much all by itself anyway.
It's hard to see.
Doesn't look like there's any abutters.
It's a large lot and there's
Mhm.
quite a bit of room there.
Yeah.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Paula Morrison,
Aye.
Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
myself, Richard Gegenwath, aye. So Jack, good luck with it all.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You got a good builder there.
I know, he's a great guy. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Right.
Good. Yeah, I went down to the property when it was up for a certificate of occupancy and walked all around the house and everything. It's a very nice location. So the last item for the agenda tonight is a return of 372 Route 6A. Leslie Altman is the owner and renewal by Anderson as the agent. And at the last meeting that they were at was 5 or 7 weeks ago, a long time ago. There was some discussion about using internal kind of storm windows. And they probably checked into that. So who is here tonight? Leslie is here tonight.
I am here, yes.
Good. And
according to Charles, it's my job to talk to you today. He's got a baby in the background. You could maybe hear. First, I just want to thank you all for volunteering your time to do this job. After having been on listening to you since 7:15, I would say thank you on behalf of residents of the town. You denied my application to replace my windows, and I am very puzzled. I was very puzzled by that because I know all my neighbors have replaced my windows. I'm the librarian for adult services at the Yarmouthport Library, and Renewal replaced their windows just last year with, so which is why we invited them to come and look at ours. There are several reasons to want to replace these windows. I have actually took a picture on my phone of what the windows look like now and what they would look like in the future. Would you like to see?
Sure.
Make that happen? Okay, these are the original windows.
Yep.
The house was built, or I believe it was built in 1875. Why it looks like a Greek revival in the front and a Victorian in the back, I have no idea. So that's the old one. We had some replaced already. This is, I'll see if I can make it bigger. Come on, baby. These are the new ones. I can't tell the difference.
Uh-huh.
The main difference, though, is there may be 1/8 of an inch of paint that overlaps that makes the muntins look bigger on the old windows. I've lived in this house since 1945. Those windows have been painted at least 6 or 7 times in my career here. And every time they paint those muntins, they get a little bit wider.
Right. Yeah.
So my main concern, there is the heat loss issue. There is the fact that none of the windows upstairs is functional. I have a series of sticks that I use to hold them open, depending on how far open they need to be. And they are a danger to the person who takes a stick out because they come flying down. But the most important thing from my point of view is that I have 7 grandchildren. The guest room, which is the front room in the house, is where they mostly stay because it's the biggest bedroom upstairs. And if I open those windows, we don't have air conditioning, and a child should lean on one of those windows, they would fall to their death. I have to open the windows in the summer because it's hot. I can't open them from the top. I can only open them from the bottom. If I had replacement windows, I could open them from the top and then I wouldn't have to worry about the kids falling out the window. The other issue for me is that they are presently covered by 1950s aluminum storm and screen combinations that are hideously ugly. If they were taken off, which they would be, I think they would look even better.
Yeah.
So that's my point of view, and I will listen to your wisdom on this subject.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, I understand your dilemma. I put up with windows that would fall on my fingers in Dennisport for 50 years.
Right. Well, I've been in that house for 45, so I know what you're talking about. I mean, I have put up with them for 45. We fortunately sleep downstairs, so I don't have to worry about the windows. We've replaced the windows downstairs that are not visible from the street, which is how I know how would they look. And I don't want the house to look any different. I just want it to be safer and more efficient and easier to maintain.
Yeah, the windows that you've chosen look like true divided light with the grills inside, outside, etc.
Right.
So
you get within, I would say, 27 inches, you can tell that they're not true divided lights. But you can't do that on the second floor. And the first floor, they're all covered with big bushes. So I don't think anybody's going to be sticking their nose in there.
Right.
So we're focused on the windows on the front, correct?
Right. I understand.
We've allowed you to change windows that are not visible from the street. That's also correct.
Yes.
The thing about owning an old house, which I do, is that it requires a certain sensitivity and appreciation and respect for its antiquity, especially on 6A.
Right.
And
I've been here longer than you have, Bob, so don't tell me about it, because I've been
I'm an
working here for
antiquarian
longer.
and I live in an old house, which
I know where you live.
1986. And there, you know, the other thing about old windows that people don't have a good appreciation for is old windows have been around for a long time because they're made of old growth pine, typically, which wood you can't get anymore. New windows have typically a 30-year guarantee, which is a far cry from the 175 years that you've gotten out of your original windows. And I think the issue of the appearance with the combination storm windows, we've already addressed that with the suggestion of in the wintertime, the interior plexiglass or the indos, as Rosemary, I believe, sent you information on those.
Somebody delivered a sales pitch to my back door. I don't know who that was, which I think is kind of interesting, but I don't want plexiglass in my house. And I don't live upstairs, so it's not the heat that's the main issue. It's the danger.
I think that might be a little overstated, frankly.
You don't know my grandchildren.
No.
The biggest problem with, I used to shudder when it happened to me because I was afraid that the windows, the glass would break, because the house was built in 1854, I think. And old glass, you could see it slowly moving down and changing shape over the years because glass runs, it flows. And if that fell down and the glass went into pieces, it'd be a big mess. And
the glass is not very safe. I have to say, I stuck a ladder through it once when I was painting the ceiling up there. And I was surprised at how thin the glass actually is.
Yeah.
It's not the way safety glass is made now.
Right. And the thing is that they made small panes of glass and they made 6/6 windows because they couldn't make it big to begin with.
Right. Would you consider if I put in 6/6 windows up there?
That's not appropriate to the house.
Of course not. Of course not.
What you've got is original.
It is original, right?
That's your problem. You're asking us to approve altering original windows on 6A. Well, and I don't know about other houses, and we aren't governed by precedent. If this committee or members of this committee have made errors in the past, we are not compelled to repeat those errors. Okay. So what other people have done has no bearing on your application.
Okay. So if you're going to say no again, just tell me now.
Well, I don't know. We haven't voted yet.
Okay.
What are the alternatives? I know we've talked about that replacement or repairing older windows with equal material brings the old window back to life in a more substantial way than a new window. Is the cost prohibitive though?
That's what I don't know. I would be delighted to do that. I mean, this is not an inexpensive project. I told my husband, if we don't get to go, we'll go to Antarctica for a couple of weeks because it's cost about the same.
I think I can address that question, Paula. In general, I mean, I have not inspected the windows, but in general, repairing old windows is far cheaper than replacing them.
Yeah.
Who do you go to? Do you know?
I have resources. In the past, I've sent links to this committee on resources for repairing old windows, and I could do it again, and I could send those resources to you, Leslie.
That would be great
to do that.
I know the Bangs Howard House did something like that.
Yeah, that's a good local resource.
Right. They did all of their windows over again, and my neighbor on the other side, who didn't ask any permission and took down 27 maple trees. I don't want to talk about that. That neighbor rebuilt all of his windows himself.
Mhm.
So I think if it's comparable in price, I'm certainly willing to do that.
You remember the house down, a two-story colonial, the young lawyer bought it, and they redid the whole house, and they took the windows out and had them restored. They have 6/6 windows, black frames. You know the house I'm talking about, Bob?
Where is it, Richard? Oh, is it the one on the corner of Wharf Lane and 6A?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I know it very well.
Yeah.
The white one?
It's on the northeast corner of Wharf Lane and 6A.
Okay, yeah.
So it just begs the question, if she's living in this house, how do you remove the windows and have them repaired while you're living there? What do you do for windows in the meantime?
One at a time.
Yeah, I would do it.
One at a time. That's
Well, it also sounds like the top sash is fixed. Is that true?
I believe it is fixed.
That's the way in my house, the top sashes were the way the windows were designed is that the top sash is fixed. So
Right,
you
I
remove the
think the
bottom
top-
sash, and the top sash is not meant to be moved ever. So you paint or address the top sash in place and the bottom sash out of place.
and do it in the summertime.
So that I can have the screen there.
Yes.
But I'm saying that without having seen the windows. So which I'd be happy to come over and look at your windows for you.
That would be fun. I would be happy for you to come and look at my windows. The other thing that makes them unusual is that they don't have ropes the way some double hung windows do.
That's a later thing.
They have a little wire that looks like a screw.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and it fits in a slot, and then they fall out and they get bent and they don't work at all. So that's my story.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm happy to be in this old house. I love it because it's an old house, and I want it to be the same. But I don't see my way to keeping those windows the way they are now.
Oh, you were interested in doing 9 windows. It's 5 on the front of the house, isn't it?
Right, and the other 4 are upstairs. There are 3 and in the back bedrooms, and then there's one on the porch.
So why don't you if
I thought there was 7 on the front of the house.
No, there's 2 upstairs and 3 upstairs and 2 downstairs.
Yeah.
3 upstairs and 2 downstairs.
Yeah,
Oh, one of them's a door.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So maybe I should go and do the back ones and then let the front ones figure out how to do those individually.
Right.
As my sainted grandmother would say, oi.
Oy vey.
I would encourage you to
have Bob come over.
Have me help you with some resources. Consult the Bangs Hallett House because they've done the restoration themselves, and investigate having the windows repaired.
Maybe I can get some community preservation grant the way the library in Bangs Hallett did.
Well,
one step at a time.
If you were to donate your house to some nonprofit organization, that might work.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I don't know what else to tell you, except that I wish that you would approve, and I will leave it to you to make in your wisdom your decision.
Can we move to table this until you, Bob, and Leslie have gotten together?
Fine by me.
Fine by me.
All right, then I move to table it.
Yeah.
I second.
Okay, all those in favor of tabling, Leslie Altman?
You're asking her if she's in favor.
I'm in favor of tabling, but I don't have a vote.
Mary Nichols,
Aye.
Paula Morrison,
Aye.
and Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
and myself, Richard Gangworth, aye. So
So Grace, you'll be the intermediary and give Paula my contact information and.
No,
give
I
you
have
the-
your contact
she has
information,
my
Bob. You need to get it to
contact with me.
Leslie.
Oh, no, I'm talking, I need Leslie's contact
Oh,
information.
right.
I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Yes, you
Leslie
did.
needs my contact information. I need Leslie's contact information. I'm asking Grace if she can navigate
we
that.
all look
Okay,
alike.
and then we'll look at what's what here.
There
Right,
you go.
Okay, I'm happy.
yeah, I'd like to see the windows and the house, so that'll be fun.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have a partial solution for you now, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Right now, can we also talk about the windows that are not facing 6A? Are those an issue?
Those were voted upon.
They were voted upon as a no?
The back ones were approved and I issued that COA.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I can
so-
resend that copy.
Oh, please do. Thank you. Okay, so
We got something.
yeah, I got something. That's a good thing. Thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it.
You're
You're
very
welcome.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you all very much.
Good
Good night.
night.
Night. Richard,
Yes,
I think we have someone from the general public that would like to speak.
okay. On this item, or,
I'm not sure. When we were during our vote, they started to raise their hand.
It might be the guy from Anderson, but he's gone.
No.
Maybe a slip of the hand.
No,
Yes.
they're raising their hand again. I've promoted them.
there's 7 participants.
He's muted.
He's leaving
In
us.
the chat.
No. China Wolf.
Oh,
We were here.
On chat, he says, no, thanks, we're good for now.
That was Charles. That was
Right.
Renewal Anderson. Maybe they'll rejoin. I don't know. I don't know what just happened. I tried to promote them and maybe they accidentally.
No, he just declined to speak. On
That was the representative for Renewal.
Charles, right?
Yeah. And then there's someone named
Dinah
China
Wolf.
Wolf that wanted to speak. I promoted them, but I don't know what happened. I think maybe they accidentally logged off.
Well, it shows 7 participants and there's 5 of us.
I think they accidentally logged off. Yeah, they're gone now.
Changed her mind.
Well, that's it for now. If they come back, but I don't know.
Okay. So, is there any other new business? Anything, Grace, that's coming in?
No, things have been steady, but nothing outrageous. Knock on wood.
There's no minutes to go over, so we're in good shape. Good. Well, in terms of what's going on in the commission, nothing much right now. It's kind of quiet. As I mentioned, Sandwich has a meeting Wednesday night, and we anticipate there may be a problem after that. Because they have one item on the agenda, which may be a pain in the neck. So we'll see how that turns out. Otherwise, everything seems to be going smoothly in all the towns. So I will hear a motion to
I
adjourn.
move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor of adjourning? Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
Paul Morrison,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
and myself, Richard Gegenloth. I agree. We shall retire for the evening.